right, everybody, how is it going tonight, man? We are going to be talking about something that could be exciting, or it could just be more wolf tickets. We don't know. We're going to take a look at this. I would be excited not to have to pay federal income tax anymore. I don't really like giving money to the government out of my paycheck. I don't feel like it's voluntary, even though it was originally set up as a voluntary system. Constitutionally, it's supposed to be a voluntary system. Now, if I felt like the government represented me, if I felt like the government was doing things that were in the benefit of the American citizens and the United States of America, rather than taking our money and giving it to foreign entities, other countries, who are then spending it on killing little kids, I might be more inclined to be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let's get you a little chunk. Probably not a third, probably not 40%, but, let's get you a little chunk. If you're doing something to give back, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of underprivileged people around me in my community that need shit, bro. And if you can find a system that's not like a crazy system where you're, taking my money and a lot of it isn't going to where it needs to go to, and you weren't, paying $50,000 for toilets and shit like that, which we all know is just like people are scamming money. People are doing kickbacks. It's money laundering. Classic. If that shit wasn't going on, I would be much more inclined to be like, hey, you know what? Why don't you take a little sum off the top? But I don't feel like that's what's happening. I feel like we're getting absolutely bent over. They're not even spitting on it, and they're twisting up our guts. But Trump has said that he's looking into ways to end federal income tax. So let's take a look at that, and let's see exactly what he's proposing.
Trump says he's making progress on what is no doubt his most ambitious economic proposal. Yesterday, during his cabinet meeting, he said federal income tax could soon be replaced with record-breaking tariff revenue. Since taking office, the White House has collected hundreds of billions of dollars in tariff revenue, and if the trend holds, some analysts believe that could be in the trillions over the next decade.
You won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous, that you're not going to have income tax to pay. Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low.
Keep it around for fun? Does anybody out there feel like federal income taxes are fun? I've never found getting bent over and having my wallet rifled through fun. Maybe we have different ideas of fun. I think it depends on who's having the fun. They're having fun. Clearly, they're having fun. So I know everybody's going to say, wait, but Donald Trump doesn't even take his salary. His salary is like $400,000 a year as a president. You know what I'm saying? That's a chunk to me and you, but to him, it's certainly not. He's made $3 billion since he's been in office this year. And while Trump did make decent money while not in office, that is a record-breaking by miles year for Trump since he's been in office. So, I don't think it's fun. It's not fun for me to give the feds my money and then watch them give it to another country so that they could starve out little kids and bomb them with our bombs. I don't like it. Personally, that's not what gets me bricked. Is that what gets any of you bricked?
Much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax.
So, you heard what the man said. He said you won't be paying income tax. That's really interesting. I hope he can pull it off. But do we think that he actually can? In fact, let's do a little poll here to see who exactly thinks that this is something that might happen. I'd love to see it. I would absolutely love to see it. But let's do a poll and let's see if anybody thinks that this is something that's actually going to happen. Because I trust the government as much as I trust Mexican tap water, bro. I trust the government as much as I trust Detroit or Flint, Michigan tap water. Okay, so I want to see what y'all think in this poll that we're about to run. And while we run this poll, let's check out our next video, because I know that it can be a lot to take in. Having been raised our entire lives thinking that like federal taxes are just the thing. It's just as long as I've been alive, federal taxes have been a thing. And you're told that if you don't pay your federal taxes, you're going to prison. So have federal taxes always been a thing in the United States of America? Is this just always been the norm? Or is this a relatively new development? Let's find out.
Schools teaching that there was no federal income tax the first 137 years America was a country. Because there was no legal federal income tax between 1776 until 1913, when they amended or changed the US Constitution. They imposed an income tax for 12 years during the Civil War and in 1894 and 1895, but that was found unconstitutional. It was in the Supreme Court case Pollock v. Farmers Loan and Trust Company, and they struck down the federal income tax. And it remained unconstitutional for another 17 years until 1913, when they passed the 16th Amendment and changed the Constitution. And it has been a little over 120 years since they did that, which means there was no legal federal income tax for the majority of American history. People think that all of these taxes, all of this government intrusion into our lives is the norm, but it is not the norm. This is the norm. This is 1776, and the reason America was the manufacturing center of the world in 1912. America had the largest and most prosperous middle class in the history of the world. American steel, American oil, American automotive. But in 1913, they changed the Constitution, which was the same year that they created a national bank. So right at the same time as they gave the government the ability to reach into our pockets and take our money, they also gave a small group of powerful bankers a monopoly over the printing of the dollar. And they print money out of thin air. They lend the money that they printed to the government, and the government agrees to pay them back with interest using the money that they take from us. And that is why the dollar has been so devalued. That is why you can't afford a house. And it's why college is so expensive. Because for 137 years, America was about prosperity. And since then, it's been about whatever this is. And this is why I wrote a book on the banking system. And in my courses, we learn real history. Because if our kids are going to have a fighting chance, they have to know the truth. Check out my private homeschool community. And Cubs to Bears.
Okay, so besides the fact that this dude is trying to sell a book, I think that he's pretty factually based. I've done a little research, I did a little digging, and dude is actually, he knows his shit. And all of that sounds like a huge scam to me. Take it from somebody who used to do fraud. In fact, got convicted of organized fraud. That's a hustle. That's a scam. What they're doing there is absolutely, it should be a crime. For them to be running tariffs, which they're doing, and getting us on federal taxes at the same time is definitely criminal behavior. It's definitely criminal behavior. So we did that little poll, and we had 75% believe that this is not something that's going to happen. 75% of us lack fundamental faith in either the leadership or the American government as a whole, or maybe even human nature and the greed of human nature, to think that this is going to be a real life thing. So, The Dead Critic, if you'd like to go and do the same research that I did to check dude's work, you're more than welcome to. I see you have critic in your name. I would expect nothing the less. Don't be lazy. Go look it up. You're more than welcome to do so. I wasn't going to get a fucking chalkboard out, a fucking dry erase board out, and line it up the way that he did. He did a great presentation. So I just used his video. But by all means, go and check up on it, buddy. You know what I'm saying? I did. Dudes Detail, what's up? The first 70 years of this country's existence, our government made its money off of taxes. As small business owners, it would help a lot if we did not have to pay Uncle Sam. Uncle Scam, bro. Because this, to me, it seems like a fucking scam. I'm just going to let you know right now, brother. Big love to you. So, Grambo, that guy who's really into math feeling attacked. So, look, there's another option, too, that they have that could very easily end federal income tax that they have been kicking around, and I want to know your guys' opinion on it. So, and I see somebody mentioning that Pelosi stole millions from us. Now we have Walsh, who clearly, I would assert that Walsh probably definitely got kickbacks on that $1 billion in tax dollars. If you guys don't know, Minnesota allocated over $1 billion to a Somalian community that was they sent over $1 billion back to Somalia to a terrorist organization, one of the biggest terrorist organizations in the world, Al-Shabaab. So our tax money went over to Somalia to terrorists who have an average IQ of 67. 67 is the average IQ in Somalia, you guys. Now, a lot of you might not know where the grid for being absolutely mentally fucking retarded lands with IQ points. Well, over here in the United States of America, where we got grifted out of over $1 billion to give to people that have an average IQ of 67, anything under 100 is considered mentally retarded. Oh, wait. No, it's anything under 80. Anything under 80 is considered a mental disability. Like, you can get anything under 70, you can get, 70 and below. Sorry. My brain was off there a little bit. But anything under 70, you can literally get government assistance if you're that fucking dumb. So their whole average of their nation is due to inbreeding, because cousins, brothers, sisters, stepmoms, moms, dads, they clapping like San Quentin, bro. They get in each other's cheeks and they're procreating, dog. They're procreating. First cousins, siblings, sons and moms, dads and daughters. They're making babies that are coming out a little bit, if you know what I mean. Just a little bit. And they've been doing it for so long that's their nation. That's the nation, by the way, that's been in civil war for almost 40 fucking years. It's just absolutely insane. So what would an alternative to having federal income tax be? Because right now, as it stands, there's a great case constitutionally that it's unconstitutional to be taxing us the way that they are. So what would be a workaround for the federal government? Let's check this out. And would you agree with this?
A new bill in Congress that wants to replace federal income tax with a national 30% sales tax for everyone. It's also going to get rid of payroll taxes and a couple other taxes as well, I believe. I think this is great, okay? This means that people get to keep more of their money, okay? And then you get to decide what you want to spend it on and get taxed on. Okay, as long as you're not a reckless spender and you're not out here consuming every single product, you're going to save a lot of money in the long run. You're going to have a lot more cushion in the bank. And remember, groceries aren't taxed. So there's a lot of things that are necessities or essential items that don't get taxed. So really, what's happening is they're just saying if you want to go buy a bunch of nonsense that you don't necessarily need, you're going to pay 30% sales tax on that instead of the government taking federal income tax from you, payroll tax from you, and whatever else. I think this is great. I don't think this is a negative. I think that if this passes, it's going to allow Americans to hold on to more of their money and decide what they want to spend it on and what they want to get taxed on. This is phenomenal. I don't see any negative in this. I know there's people talking shit about it, saying this is not a good thing. I think this is a step in the right direction, and it gives less power to the IRS, which we all know is an agency that shouldn't be there in the first place. All it does is take from people, and I think Americans are way overtaxed, and I think this is a wonderful thing and definitely a right move, and I hope it passes.
So what would you guys think? I did a little Polsky over here. Would you guys prefer a sales tax to an income tax? So instead of getting your money taken from you right off top, you have that close to the same amount of money when you spend it on frivolous stuff. And there would be things that wouldn't be, included, like groceries, shit like that, shit that's necessities. Now, no tax period, I would agree. I would love no tax period. And 30% sales tax is pretty insane, but you're already getting taxed. Are you getting taxed less than 30% on income tax? I'm pretty sure most of us are getting taxed at least 30% on income tax, right? Like, I mean, I see that the poll is saying no by like 60%, but they're taking that from you right off top. I agree negotiating could be cool, but you're only paying 8.25% on sales, but you still have federal income tax. This would be as opposed to having federal income tax anymore. I would think it's a win. It's fucking high, but they're taking at least 30% of your taxes anyway. Maybe the poll was confusing in the way that it was worded, and maybe I jumped it before he fully explained. That might be on me. I think instead of losing 30% of our money before we even cash the check, that losing 30% when we spend it on non-necessity type shit, I think that would be a win. Personally. Now, would I rather pay no taxes at all? Abso-fucking-lutely. Do I think that that's something that they're going to actually do? No, dude, these are greedy motherfuckers and they're milking us. Dr. Dre says, we pay a fuck ton here in Canada. It's bullshit. And sales tax is 15%. Yeah, that's crazy, bro. And yes, Florida is eliminating property taxes. Property taxes should not be a thing, my guy. If you buy something and you own it, you should not have to pay anything on something that you own. It's insane to me, the concept of property tax. We literally started a war with England, a revolt against England over a tea tax. A tea tax. What the fuck happened to us? As Americans, what happened to us that now we're getting taxed when we make money, we're getting taxed when we spend money, we're getting taxed on the property that we already own, we're getting taxed if we're an employer and we're paying people out, we get taxed on fucking everything. Somebody said, but they have free medical. I want to ask you guys a question. In real life, I want to ask you guys a question. I know it's a serious subject for a lot of people because a lot of people don't have health insurance. But have you seen the things that are run by the government in this country? Do they seem efficient? Do they seem like they're doing well? Would you want government-run healthcare? Would you want the government running your healthcare? Do you trust the government enough to think that they're going to be able to provide you with adequate services in a timely manner? Because I know people over in, I meant to do that as a poll. Hold on, we're going to do it as a poll. I know people over and maybe Dr. Dre Light can let us know how it is in Canada. But I know people over in the UK that have waited for years on lists for stuff that like could kill them. Do you trust the government to run your health care? I mean, I'm sure that even if we had universal government health care, that we would still be able to pay for our own private health care because rich people are never going to end up being affected. Dr. Dre said, been to the hospital 4 times in the year, gotta go again in another week and a half. And is it an efficient system that you guys have over there? Dr. Dre said, I would have spent a fuck ton without it. Okay, cool. Is it an efficient system, though? That's what I'd like to know. William said, the world makes fun of us for family relationships, but yet it's a way of life for them. I agree with the fat electrician on how FDR screwed over the future of America. I don't find myself disagreeing with the fat electrician hardly ever, bro. The Nickinator, what's up? Off topic, but what's your favorite Bible verse? So when it comes to, for me, my favorite verses in the Bible are all going to be specifically the words of Jesus Christ. That's what slaps for me. As Rang of the Brothers, what's up? The peds need to be fed. That's why all the taxes. Fuck, man. Oh, I hate that he's absolutely correct. Go F yourself. I can't believe that YouTube actually let you have that screen name. That's lit, bro. That's lit. The more money in circulation will drive the value of the dollar down even more. Couple that with rising inflation and it could be disastrous. Absolutely. 100%. I want to check on this poll and see what you guys think. 79%, 78% say that they do not trust the government to run our healthcare. Because, I mean, ever been to the DMV? I've been to the DMV. It's fucking miserable, bro. I can't think of one department of our government that is actually worth a fuck and is run efficiently. Except our armed forces. They're pretty efficient. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of wasteful spending. I'm sure there's a lot of excess and shit like that, but they do get shit done. So that's what I wanted to talk about as far as our taxes and as far as what's going on with what might be on the horizon. Who knows if Donald Trump will be able to actually cancel federal income tax and move that to, possibly a sales tax, possibly just tariffs. I'd prefer just tariffs rather than a sales tax myself. Who knows if that's going to happen, but he seems to be pushing for it. Now, if you wanted to leave a legacy as a president, getting rid of federal income tax would be one hell of a way to do it, don't you think? If he actually pulled that off, don't you think that President Trump would go down in the history books in a positive light, regardless of the other shit that he's not doing super great on? I think that would be a W that would probably outshine a lot of the stuff that people have problems with him on. I think it would be. I think a lot of people would be like, yeah, dude's goated for that. No more federal income tax, dude goated for that. I really think that would be what's up. That'd be how he'd be remembered. And I know that he's like towards the end of his life. It's clear. And I know that he wants to be remembered for something positive. He needs something to sort of untarnish the Epstein files, insinuations, and the fact that he's actually in those files like a bunch. I haven't seen anything that constitutes actual proof of wrongdoing, but he's mentioned a lot. And if I was mentioned a lot in a child sex trafficker's FBI files, I'd be like, damn, that fucking sucks. But this would be something that people would look at and go, I mean, bro, dub on that. Alex, thank you so much, bro. Good to see you tonight, homie. I hope you're doing well. William said, I wish I could show that scene from Parks and Rec where Ron teaches a little girl about taxes. Bro, Ron was the best part of that show. Ron Swanson was the best part of Parks and Rec. Hands down, flat out. Now, I have a friend named Dr. Laura. You guys might have seen Dr. Laura. She's pretty fucking epic. She is like the lead specialist on pedophiles and sex offenders in the country. And she's done extensive research to come to the conclusion that there's no way to rehabilitate them. She worked in this field for decades trying to find a way that there would be solid proof they could rehabilitate them. And she wasn't able to. And I want you guys to see how they were able to measure that. And this video explains that a little bit. Dr. Laura is a G.
There's a lie detector for your... I'm reading results right now. Well, I'm trying to. Let me tell you about a machine that can tell you if you're lying through your... The penile plethysmograph helps us detect who wants to kids. Yes, it's a thing. We put a condom on your dick and we show you a range of photos and we see what makes you aroused. We see where you are deviant. Then the computer produces a report, and someone like me, a forensic psychologist, gets to read it. So you see adult content and the body doesn't respond. Then you see child content and, well, jail. But I didn't do it. I don't know how my hand got there. I was just making sure the child didn't fall. No, sir, blaming the machine doesn't help. Your nervous system confessed before your lawyer even opened his mouth. Nothing threatens a liar like a lie detector on their dick. So technically it's not a magic pedophile detector, but it does tell you who has a sexual response to children, because the human body snitches every time. I'm Dr. Leslie, forensic psychologist. Follow along if you'd like to learn how the mind of a pedophile works.
I have to apologize to Dr. Leslie. I called her Dr. Laura. Her name is Dr. Leslie. I fucked that up. And that's my homie. Like, I've been friends with her for a couple years now, and I fucked her name up. I apologize. Her name is Dr. Leslie Dobson, and she is on all platforms. And she actually used this method while trying to figure out if different methods of therapy were effective or not to cure pedophilia. So they would run people through therapy methods, and then they would put the lie detector condom on their wiener penis and show them pictures of kids, and nothing that she ever did, no form of treatment, even chemical castration, stopped them from getting aroused by children. Nothing. Do you know what would, though? Y'all know what would? If you just start up the chipper, you just get him in that little chipper, dog. That wood chipper works every single time, because you know what they did find out is that 100% of dead pedophiles never reoffend. 100%! Dead pedos do not reoffend. No dead pedophile ever raped a kid again. That's statistically proven, my guy. Go look that one up. Google that shit. It doesn't exist. So I thought that was really interesting, and I wanted to share that with you. That is how you would gauge whether or not someone is rehabilitated or if there's still a danger to doing terrible things to children. And when she popped this out, bro, I'm just going to say, when she popped this out, the doll with the tape measure to see if the winky grows, holy shit, bro. Holy shit. Dr. Leslie's a G for that, bro. Dr. Leslie's absolutely a G for that. As Rang, remember when Mama Max, the phony pet hunter? I don't remember Mama Max. He fell from grace after his scam was shown, and now he shrunk off the site. What did you think back then? When was this? I've never heard of Mama Max. I've never ever heard of Mama Max. Can anybody educate me on who Mama Max was? You have to understand, I have not been doing YouTube and social media for a long time. I'm about 2.5 years into this. Mama Max was exposed a year ago. Never heard of Mama Max. No, I'll have to look into that. Thank you for bringing that to me. You can still see his YouTube channel and some of his undeleted videos. Why was he called Mama Max? Mama, and it's a dude? Was it one of them dudes? Was it one of them dudes that wear dresses? I don't understand. Why would a dude be called Mama? That seems sketchy straight from the beginning. Don't y'all think? I mean, I don't know. Now, if we want to talk about pred catchers, I'm actually in contact with my friend, and I'm going to drop this right now. You guys, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of inside scoop. This isn't public information yet, but my buddy Alex Rawson, some of you guys might know ped poacher Alex Rawson. Me and him are going to be doing a bust, and I'm super excited about that. I think it's going to be fucking awesome. We've been talking about it for a while, and we're actually lighting that fire, man. As Rang said, none of the peds were actually brought behind bars, and no, Mama Max acted like Mama Bear to his community. Fucking still a little weird. Still a little weird, in my opinion, to be a dude and be a fucking Mama Bear, bro. Maybe my toxic masculinity is showing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, I'm excited to work with old Alex Rawson. He's a good dude. That's my buddy right there. Now, a lot of people have problems with Alex because Alex, if you ever go over to the Twitter or the X, Alex says a lot of shit that people don't generally like. They want to cancel him for using language that I personally wouldn't just throw around. But you know what? He has the First Amendment right to say those things. And I respect his First Amendment right to say those things. And the work that he does is fucking incredible. And I will always have his back. Because the work that he does saves hundreds and hundreds of kids from having to go through what I went through as a kid. You know what I'm saying? Serenity Gaming Studio, 2016, I was attacked for opposing a map group that had booths at the Academy of Art events in San Francisco. It all made sense as soon as I read San Francisco. That academy had students as young as 14. Holy shit. The idea that they would let, even in San Francisco, holy shit. That's crazy, bro. You Ain't Hardcore said he just loves free speech. He's not racist. He's just saying whatever he feels like. And like, look, man, I 100% agree. I agree. I'm not going to act like I never said no wild shit, bro. I grew up in the fucking 80s. We called each other slurs every single day. And the thing that I hate the most about slurs is that there's not a good one for Irish people. I feel betrayed. I feel let down. I feel like the world, we were slaves too, guys. We were slaves too. Historically, can't we get a slur? I know we're hard to offend, but I want y'all to come up with a slur for Irish people that feels offensive at least, that rolls off the tongue, maybe works into rhyme schemes for Irish rappers, something that people are afraid to say unless they're my complexion and have a red beard. And then I want to call all my friends that. I feel pissed off that me and my friends don't have a slur to be able to call each other because I got a lot of Irish friends. I feel like, ginger doesn't have the slap that it should. It's funny that if you just slap a different letter on the front end of it, it has a whole lot more punch to it. But can we get a slur for Irish people? Sochko, what's up? In Eastern Europe, the last thing a chomo see is a drain in the middle of the cell. Last thing he hears is the click, click, boom. Love you, sister. It's so good to see you here tonight. Thank you for hanging out with us. Knobstopper, homie. That's one of my day ones, you guys. That's one of the day ones in this community right here. My girl has a resident at her work that is a sex offender that carries a creepy wooden doll around with him. He needs the chipper. Him and his fucking wooden doll. Holy shit. That's absolutely crazy. That's terrifying. So, okay, people are giving us potato cake, potato pillar. I think that green neck. I've never heard green neck. I kind of like that. All the stuff where people are using potato. In prison, I was called a potato N-word once. YouTube won't let me say the real thing, but I was called a potato N-word once, and I was like, damn, bro, I like that. That was cool. Is calling them Lucky Charms offensive? It's hard for me to gauge because Irish people are not very offended. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to offend us. Ginger ninjas, not all Irish are gingers. I'm aware. I mean, bro, I got the brown hair and the red beard. I was just using that. Oh my God, that slaps. What, the potato N-word? Yeah. Yeah, I got excited when somebody called me that. I was like, yo, that shit is lit. Hell yeah. I wasn't upset in the slightest. I was like, that shit's dope. Lucas Henry, Ginger! Put a hard R on that shit, bro. Don't offend me. Don't go easy on me. Don't put an A to make it more embraceable, dog. Put the hardest R on that ginger you possibly can, dog. Toss that big hard R on that. Serenity Gaming Studio, Ginger, please. Come on, man. Come on. I asked you guys to go hard. Don't put no softening A on the end of a ginger. Don't do that to me. Don't act like I can't take it. What the hell? William said, would British word for child out of wedlock work for you? I wanted to go to historical relations between the two. What is the British word for a child out of wedlock? That's a bastard here, right? What's that do? Jax, welcome. Welcome to the live studio. We're talking about we need more Irish slurs. Something that slaps. Like the N-word for Irish people. The F slur for Irish people. Now, I did tell them back when I was in prison one time, because they started coming up with potato everything. Back in prison one time, somebody called me a potato N-word. And I was like, yeah, that hits. I liked that. That shit was, that had a little slap to it. I want something that makes you feel some sort of something. You know what I'm saying? And then people started calling me a ginger with an A. And I'm like, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. Don't put a softening A on that shit. Put the hardest fucking R on a ginger that you can. Come on. And then Lucas Henry gave me an all caps with like 12 R's, bro. Because he's a G. And I love Lucas.
One of our kids asked ChatGPT for a history of slurs, what they are, their origins, their meanings, and ChatGPT said no.
Okay. So William has actually followed up with that, and he said, Jensen followed up. Pot liquor, because starving people is funny to the English.
Fair.
I I can laugh because I'm Irish, and they starved us to death.
Yeah.
I thought that shit's funny. Pot liquor. It reminds me of pot stickers, and now I want Chinese food.
All I can think of as a slur is puppy diarrhea, because that's what I just dealt with. I came for a break.
Oh, how'd it smell down there?
Not good.
So, Tim Doe said, eliminate taxes and pay tariffs up front. Taxes just another way to make criminals out of well-meaning individuals, like air fresheners and license plate lights. I can't disagree with you. I can't agree with you more, bro. Dude's detail. Mick, Patty, or Bog Trotter. Yeah, dog. See, but here's the thing, is that me and my homies all call each other Mick. But it doesn't slice. It doesn't hurt. I don't know what the slur for Irish people that would actually have impact would be, because we're not very offendable people. It's probably our fault for not having big pretty pink feelings. Maybe if we had big sopping wet pussies about words, the Irish would be able to have an effective slur. It's our own fault. We've done this to ourselves, and damn it, we should take accountability. Ginger! David! Homie, thank you so much. Big love and respect, bro. Thanks for that support. I appreciate you. That helps keep us going here, man. Big love to you, David. Big love to your family. I hope you guys have a great holiday, brother. Serenity Gaming Studio. Most offensive thing to call an Irish is a Scot. You know that those are our retarded horse fucking cousins, right? And I could say that shit because I'm part Irish and I'm part Scottish. We all came from the same bloodlines. We all came from the kings and high kings of the Celts. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, no, you're not wrong. That will piss some Irish people off. Not me, because I'm like part Scottish too. But you know, I'm part retarded horse fucker and part Irish. So it is what it is. Does that mean if the Scottish and the Irish were cousins, that I'm inbred? No, because it wasn't Somalian.
I'm calling Nanny. I have some questions.
William said, yes, the curse word. I'm not being allowed to spell it out. Okay, I get you, bro. Absolutely. So speaking of racism and supremacy, I found a video that I want you guys to check out about the origins of white supremacy. I want you guys to see this. Since Jack's opened, there might be a tiny little bit of a go here, but I'm going to switch to not my headphones so that Jax can actually hear this and be a part of it with us. Jax, check this out. This is the origins of white supremacy.
Supremacy was created by us to describe something we're confused about.
So you're saying black folks created that name white supremacy?
That's correct, from Africa. From Africa, because we are just amazed by the things they've done. Well, we describe them always by inventions. When you take a toy and the toy is talking and it's moving, we're like, oh my God. Because yes, my people are not sophisticated, you know.
Why would we call a white person a white supremacist if, you know, well, I think it's because we were enslaved.
No, not. It is just observing the mere industrialization of their environment, which we haven't done. That's all.
So he's saying that in Africa is where white supremacy started. And it wasn't because we were enslaving people, but it was because they admired the industry and the technology and the advancements of civilization that white people were putting forward that they hadn't gotten to yet. I mean, he said that. You know what I'm saying? Go and look at what point they figured out the wheel.
They can command water from far away through tubes into their bedrooms. We can even fetch a bucket of water from the next lake, you will be drowned. They can put electricity. We never had one in Africa. They have airplanes fly over us. It's amazing. Everything they've done is the reason my people say these people are superior, not because of slavery. They came to colonize us and they brought things we have never seen before. They gave a king a mirror and he was dancing and sold his people away. They brought guns we have never seen, boom, and killed somebody right away. You know what they used to do in the Congo? Right. They put dynamite in the rocks and then they hide the switch. And then when they point their finger, it go boom. And the Congolese, till today, they call the white man kaboom, the sound of the dynamite.
They called white man kaboom because they did the old finger trick. That shit's lit. You want to see a magic trick? Kaboom. Kaboom!
And then they go down and they go like this. If they're not superior, why do you see every picture when the white men arrive in Africa, we bow into them?
She doesn't seem happy about what he's saying. So she's an American, and she doesn't seem happy about what this dude from Africa is saying. She seems kind of like low-key upset about this. But I believe I think he's historically accurate. I mean, I didn't Google it, but I mean, seems like he kind of knows what happened over there. You know what I'm saying?
The Portuguese in my own town, Gele, all of these people, as soon as the Portuguese showed up, everybody was bowing. We have never seen a gun kill a human being. We have never seen a mirror. We have never seen a radio tune in and somebody speaking from England, the Queen's voice. So for us, all these things, this people must be really superior and close to God. They used to have a joke in Ghana that when God said, let's pray, the white man opened his eyes. The black people were covering his eyes. So the white man saw how God created the world. That's why they are so good at what they do. And I'm telling you, these are folklores from which we grew up.
So their folklore is that when God was creating everything, the white people did the little sneak a peek. They were like, okay, I see what he's doing there. I'm going to do that too. A little peekaboo, the old peekaboo trick. She looks mad, bro. Amber, she looks mad. She looks pissed off.
If anyone told you that white people came to Africa to tell us they're superior, it's a lie. They never said that.
Well, I think that probably pissed somebody off. I don't see anybody in the chat that seems pissed off. But yeah, science is how to peak. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I thought that was really interesting. That seemed really interesting to me as a viewpoint from somebody who's from over there in Africa. Stonks and Chomps, what's up? Yo, your cat is dope. My bro's half Irish, half Italian. We call him Mick Whopper. Yes! That's what's up. I like Mick. Mick has a solid ring to it, but it seems like a term of endearment to me. It doesn't seem like a slur. Maybe it started as a slur and we just like it so much that it doesn't have slur to it anymore. Paladin Dig, damn it, JD, I have to go to bed. Wanted to enjoy your stream. I hope you have a good night's sleep, bro. Big love and respect to you. Henry Defense and Customs, Kaboom is a Muslim holiday. Dog. Ah, my guy. Love you, bro. DJ Jado. Jado. Yo, that I think that's a Goldie. That's Jax's favorite type of dog in the whole world.
Oh my goodness, how gorgeous.
Shanty Irish on how some poor Irish lived in shanties. Yeah, but I mean, like, all my friends have been broke, bro, so we all claimed Shanty Irish. You know what I'm saying? We always all claimed Shanty Irish.
Some of my favorite memories are from living in the trenches of poverty.
Oh, dude, when me and Jax first got together, she ended up after a while moving into like a small 2-bedroom apartment with me, and Alan.
And then eventually Graves.
Yeah, my kid that passed, that he lived in the other bedroom, and we had this tiny little apartment. It was super ghetto. You know, it was like 2 blocks from the beach though, but it was dirty, bro. Like somebody had like literally the tub chipped so much they just painted over it with white paint.
Yes, not
like,
even like the paint that you use for that.
No,
it was
just white
so
paint.
Bad.
And it kept chipping off, and the chips would hurt your feet.
But every time I scrubbed the shower, I would get like chunks of the paint, and then chunks of like the actual tub would come up. It was so gross.
Yo, hey, big shout out to Graves Delay. What's up, son? How you doing?
Hey, we miss you. We love you.
Graves is in the chat right now. He said Pop's got that drip on right now. Yeah. Bro, we love you. Graves is coming home tomorrow, by the way.
Yes.
Yes. Graves has been on a little staycation having fun. Graves is coming home tomorrow. Maybe we'll get Graves to come on a live stream. I know you guys would love to see Graves again, but we were just talking,
just
kid.
Barricade him in here until he agrees. I'm gonna.
Yeah, we were just talking about that apartment that we shared. You know, for a minute there was 4 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment, and it was ghetto, but we had so much fun, dude.
And we had squirrels.
We had
dogs.
3 squirrels. We had dogs. We had a raccoon for a while.
Yeah.
We had a lot going on.
There was a lot going on.
Yeah, and we were super broke.
I'm so happy. Some of my favorite memories of my whole life are from that time period.
I remember one time we had to go out to pick up a couch because one of my friends had a couch, and it was better than the couch that we had. The couch that I had gotten was free. Somebody offered us another free couch, but it was better. So we took Jax's minivan.
Dude, okay, but it was so cool because we figured out the first time I had to go pick up a couch I found on Marketplace because we had 2 couches. And I did it all by myself. I got that bitch in the back of the minivan all by myself and drove it back because he was on house arrest. So I had to go handle it by myself, dude. So I was like, yo, I got this. I can fit a whole ass couch up in this minivan. And we did it.
We did it. We took Alan and we went and grabbed this couch, and it was sticking out the back of a minivan driving through Daytona. And this minivan was like such a fucking liability.
Oh, yeah, no. If you went over 15 miles an hour, it would shake. And you couldn't go too far from home because you didn't know if you would get stranded somewhere.
Yeah, and Jax would only put $10 of gas in at a time in case it died because we didn't want to lose more than like, you know, $8 or $10 in gas. That's literally how ghetto and how impoverished we were. Like, we were shanty. So some of my best times were when I was just broke with my wife and with Graves and with Alan. Those were some of the best times of my life, living 2 blocks from the beach, you know, and I was on house arrest for the vast majority of it, bro. I was on house arrest for the vast majority of it, but we had so much fun. And it was so chill, man. So don't discount the shanty life. David, thank you so much, bro. Yo, that's huge. And we get an Irish joke. Do you know why God created whiskey? To keep the Irish from taking over the world. You're 100% right, bro. The only way that I can dance, brother, the only way that I can dance is with the power of whiskey. I have it written right here permanently so that when I drink whiskey, I'll remember, oh yeah, I'm Irish. Dude, thank you so much for the support tonight, man. I genuinely appreciate it. It goes a long way, and I love you, bro. Jado said, I'm 80% Irish and a boomer. Am I the only one here? Katie was my best golden retriever. So, I mean, I'm not fully a boomer, but, like, I'm definitely on towards my twilight years. And I'm very, very Irish. And Amy is absolutely gorgeous, man. Jax just recently got a tattoo of her golden retriever, Lulu. Do you want to tell them what Lulu's doing?
She's riding a pterodactyl, because this way she has wings, because she's in doggy heaven. And she's wielding a lightsaber.
She's like on the pterodactyl, swinging a lightsaber in the tattoo on her leg.
I didn't want to be sad when I looked at it.
Boomer is a race. I thought Boomer was just older than dog shit like me. Damn. I don't think Boomer is actually a race. I think Boomer is like being old, bro. Being old. You know what I'm saying? Marcus said, JD, give me a wood chipper! My hip replacement is killing me today. Bro, you're going to go in our prayers, healing, getting better, upward mobility, all of that. You know, one of my good friends, McNubbs. Now, there's a reason why he's called McNubbs. He got blown up in Afghanistan. And he lost his arm. He lost his arm from here. They had to rebuild a hand out of his hand. He's got stumps, and he's kind of got just enough to be able to push his wheelchair. Both legs are gone. And one of his stumps, his nubs, got infected, as it does, it seems like, every year. And he's in the hospital right now. So we put in heavy prayers on McNubbs, bro. He's a really good dude. He is honestly, for having zero fully workable limbs, he is the most positive human being on the planet. He is always so positive. And he's a absolute decorated war hero. And I love McNubbs, bro. So if you're a praying person and you care about our veterans, our heroes, maybe say a prayer for McNubbs. He actually, on TikTok, he goes by McNubbs, and he does what he calls Nub Talks. Instead of a TED Talk, he'll give you guys positive affirmations, and he calls them his Nub Talks. And he's a badass. He lives out in Florida. He's all tattooed up, and he's just a really, really good dude, man. Well, you guys, that's all that I have for tonight. I really wanted to talk to you guys about whether or not it's realistic that they're going to end federal tax on income. I don't know. It's possible. I think that, like, Donald Trump is at a point in his presidency and in his life where he is absolutely trying to think about his legacy. And I think he knows that he would go down as that president with a dub forever if he ended federal income tax. So I think it's definitely within the realm of possibility that he wants to do it. Could he do it through tariffs? Could he do it through a 30% sales tax? I don't know. I personally would rather have a 30% sales tax than getting 30% swiped across all of my income. I could keep my money in the bank and not spend it, and then the government don't get it to send over to Israel to kill babies. And I'd be happy on that. And that'd be a dub for me, bro. I'd be stoked. Yo, Dirty Miner Apparel for McNubbs. Thanks for keeping it real, brother. Dirty Miner Apparel, I love you. I appreciate that. I'll make sure that gets to him, homie. Huge love and respect to you, my guy. Hell yeah. Nomad.org said, Boomer is a generation. They're called boomers because of the baby boom after World War II. And we're real far from a baby boom, aren't we? We're population is on decline like a motherfucker. And nobody can afford to have babies. Nobody can afford to do shit. I mean, even shitting is expensive with the price of toilet paper lately. I don't like it. Henry said, I spent thousands on gun parts. I don't want a 30% tax. You know what? I understand that. Have you seen that in Florida? DeSantis has like an annual state tax on guns free day where like, I think it's a weekend where like there's like 48 hours where you could buy all the ammo, all the guns, all the gun parts and accessories with no state tax on that shit. That shit's dope, bro. That shit's dope. All right, you guys. Well, I love you. I'm going to be back live soon. I appreciate you hanging out with me this evening. And until the next one, it's always one love, baby. Be good or be good at it.